Hey, how's it going?
What's
How
going
you doing,
on, man?
Brad? What's going on?
What's up with you,
How,
man? Happy to tap in with you, man. Was looking forward to chopping it up with you.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
We gonna get it going. We just do the chill vibes, man. I'm Flamingo Fred. This is the Bird of Paradise podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us where you're from.
Hell yeah. By the way, I really like your outfit. I love the sunglasses and everything.
Man, I
You look
appreciate
sick.
it. I just try to vibe.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my name is Finn Bell. I have an artist project called Love Ghost based out of Los Angeles, California. It's an alternative rock band with hip hop elements and do a lot of collaborations all around the world, especially in Mexico. And yeah, you can find us on all platforms. It's a music making slash visual media, video making artist project. And yeah, it's called Love Ghost.
Dope. I know I was checking it out now. When you say artist project, can you explain to it? Because I was like, Love Ghost, it's a band. I was watching, checking the shit out. When you say project, what do you kind of mean by that?
Sure. So yeah, I guess I first created that name to release my music under. This was about 10 years ago when I started releasing music on SoundCloud and YouTube, and eventually at a certain point I wanted to have a band, and so I got some friends together and it made Love Ghost the band, and it went through various incarnations over time, and people left and people came, and I
Mm.
just kind of um, maybe since there's been so many different lineups, all at a certain point I was like, oh, I'll just take the reins a little bit and just this is just a music making project who's as opposed to just a more collaborative band effort. It's a little bit complicated, but yeah, essentially it's yeah, that's what I would say.
No, most definitely. That makes sense. I'm thinking, a lot of other loose groups we seen because like I started with hip hop and I've been getting into like more like electronic punk and type funk vibes on the music that I'm making. And my partner Verseborn, who I started Conquest with, we had our group. He was like, "Man, get a band," but I was like, "Man, as much as I would love to have a band, it seems like a lot of fucking work to keep up with band members."
Absolutely. It's like being married to five at once. Like everyone wants something different, everybody wants something else. One person's pulling it this way, the other person's pulling it that way. So it can just over time, and people grow and people's beliefs and people's um attitudes change. So it can be hard to manage that.
No, most definitely. And then, I've seen some stuff like some old interview. I seen an old interview and I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was John Lennon or somebody, but with this technology that we have now, I mean, you're damn near able to be a band kind of yourself, if you know how to, produce records and do everything like that. I could go play the bass riff on the keyboard and do this and do that and do everything. So it's like, the band is not such a thing anymore.
Yeah, you definitely see the concept of a band is fading away more and more, especially as we have so many technical assets just at our fingertips. Anyone can learn Ableton, anyone can learn these softwares, anyone could. It's just so much, I would say, easier to do it this way.
No, most definitely. I was on. Besides that, we established what it is. I was checking out your shit. I love the name Love Ghost. I mean, it has love in the name. I like out of the box shit. I love the name. It had me interested in checking it out. And then I was, looking through your shit, and you guys, I seen you like you're down in Mexico. You're down over here. How is that? You guys just doing a lot of shows down there?
Yeah, so basically the journey to Mexico, to kind of give a whole rundown on it. Love Ghost had we had our first big or bigger song during the pandemic, 2020. I had a YouTube video that got 1 million views, and I noticed that most of the comments were in Spanish. All
Mm,
these checking the analytics, and it was all coming from Mexico, really Mexico City. So I said, "Oh, I should just go where the love is. If the love is happening in Mexico, then why not, make a song with an artist that's based out of Mexico?" So I did. I made a song with his name is Adon Cruz. He's a
mm-hmm.
very talented artist, Latin artist in Mexico. And I was talking to him after we made the song together, after we shot the video. He was like, "Hey, why don't you come down here for a few weeks, live with me? I'm playing this huge show. I want you to perform at it too with your band." This was last year. This was 2022, like around August. And I said, "Well, absolutely. Why not? That sounds exciting." So I went down to Mexico. I stayed with him. I played the biggest show of my life. It was like 4,000 people, and it was a great experience. And I just yeah, and ever since then I've just been booking more shows in Mexico, and I'm kind of going back and forth between Los Angeles to Mexico City, Los Angeles to Mexico City, and that's
That's
kind of
beautiful.
yeah.
I would love to do something like that. Like, what's the craziest shit you've seen, like at a show or at one of these shows, or like doing music? Like, what's the craziest shit you've seen? Because all people always have crazy stories, like these band stories or shit that's happened. What's the craziest shit you've seen?
At a show, like at a show where I'm performing at.
Yeah.
Uh, hmm. Honestly, I feel like I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen just kind of like normal stuff, like a fist fight. I don't know, someone passing out. I did one crazy show. I was not performing at it, but I was there. Was someone got murdered in the music venue, and they had to basically the police came and there was helicopters outside, and they just said it's on lockdown, so everyone just stay still. But I was like in the same room as the murderer. Like no one, like they were still investigating, finding out the information. So as far as you know, there's just like a crazy like axe wielding maniac like in the same room as you, but like you're not allowed to leave the room. And that was pretty nuts. That was that was pretty
Now,
wild.
see, for a second, I thought you were going to have a story. Now that I think that tops the cake for the craziest story I've ever heard. Every time it gets crazier and crazier. That's why I asked. So you're at a damn show, going there in attendance. Someone gets murdered at the show, and they lock everybody down, and everybody's locked in with the murderer, and nobody knows who it is.
Exactly. It was very anxiety inducing. I don't know what was going on. They yeah, um
What did they stab him?
it was a stabbing.
Mm.
Um I think that it was yeah, it was like a shank like device, because obviously, they're patting people unless it was just bad security. It was obviously when you go to music venues, they pat you down and they have to check to make sure no one's bringing in weapons. But yeah, someone I guess had a weapon, something bad had happened, and shit went south really 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 fast.
Damn, that I think that is that's one of the craziest stories I have heard. What do you like? Because Mexico's somewhere I want to go. I mean, I like to travel. I love seeing how other people live and the culture and things like that. What are some of the dopest parts about, doing shows and being in Mexico?
First of all, the way that they absorb music, really just absorb entertainment there, is so much more, I would say, passionate than in America, because there's just less things flying at you, so the crowd gets really really energetic and enthusiastic about a music artist coming to town, about a band coming to town. So the audience, you can really feel the love. You can really feel the energy in the air, the excitement. I would just say playing and granted, there's amazing shows in America, and there's amazing crowds in America too. but I just think that Mexico overall just has a better, has more excitement for music, especially for live music.
Mm.
And that's what I would say. Just the shows are awesome. The energy
Yeah,
from the
I seen
crowd.
the footage. I seen the footage of the shows, and I mean, I was like, damn, that's amazing. It looks cool. I love other cultures, and I'm not married, going to meet women from different cultures and eating food and doing all that shit. That sounds like um a dream come true. A thing that I've been asking a lot of artists, and this is going off of something I seen from Snoop Dogg, like, what are your feelings with these streaming services? You know, because a lot of times I feel like, especially being an artist myself, like I've been in a position with my partner Verseborn from Conquest where we've done over 1 million spins. You know what I mean? And I mean the money we're getting back is peanuts. You know what I mean? So how do you feel about the being an artist?
I mean, it's pretty evil what they do to artists. I'm definitely not gonna but there is certain pros, even in this pretty bleak situation that I've been able to find, such as now there's less, I would say, gatekeepers in the music industry because anyone can post their music onto
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and there's nothing. Yes, there are algorithms that push videos and push certain songs, but it's so much less as opposed to 30 or 40 years where you would kind of just have to beg the record labels and the record companies to promote you and to push you. You don't really see that, or you don't really have that as much anymore. You hear about all the time artists popping up out of some random part of the world, and all of a sudden they have millions of followers and supporters. So I'd say um that's one positive about how accessible music consumption has become
Mm-hmm.
over the past few years. But obviously you know with the payout and with it's a problem. We all know that that it's a problem. Really I don't know what the answer is, honestly. I think we just kind of
Yeah,
have
I don't
to.
I don't know that I don't know the answer either. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I say this all the time. Like, I've been making content. I'm trying to get more into films. I actually been in some independent short films and like getting my acting and stuff on and like that. But we live in an era where if you want to be a star, be a star. You know what I mean? You could be a star with your cell phone. You have the abilities to be so. But the flip side to that is like, there everybody's out there doing something, but these streaming sites, I don't have the answer for it either because people don't buy music like they did before. You know what I mean? And
Music
that leaves room to get paid for these shows, but a lot of people aren't doing shows like that either.
music used to be a product. It used to be, something that you would buy at a store. It's kind of like what clothing or food um, is now. Now music is downloadable. Not, it's not a physical object anymore. It's exists in the stratosphere in the matrix for lack of a better term. So
It's it's,
really, I
it's
just think
Go ahead.
no, you go, you go.
It's like it does it does exist up there. You know how I started looking at music, and I thought about this a couple years ago, and this is a reason why I started doing a podcast and different things like that. I view music as a promotional tool. You know what I mean? I view music as a tool that promotes me like a commercial. Music video content, it's a commercial, and that has landed me different opportunities to do different things. Yes, I still love music. I'm still going to make it, but it's a promotional tool that can open up the kind of entrepreneurship to do other things. And I mean, that has kind of worked for me. So as an artist, you have to think as a you're an entity, you're a business, you know, and you're marketing yourself, you know, to make an adequate living off what you're doing. So all this is promo. What advice would you give new artists?
I mean, I second that. Absolutely. That you know, become that. That's kind of, I think, part of the reason why I call Love Ghost an artist project as opposed to a band, because just like you said, music is promotional now. You can promote yourself to um, whatever you want to create. You could start creating clothes. You could have your own merch line. You can do acting. Like you were talking about as well, and really think of yourself as kind of a multi faceted creator of sorts. And that's our, advice that I would give to young artists. It's, you know, it's a tough road. It's a gritty road. There's lots of rejection, but the more you can think outside of the box, kind of exactly what you were saying, the more comfort you'll be able to find in the discomfort of this new age.
Yeah, most definitely. Where do you see love? Where do you see Love Ghost going? Like, what is your? Of course, you want to make it to, you know, where all your hearts and desires, but you know, where do you see it going, and where do you want to take it?
I mean, honestly, I think that that's kind of the truth is that I don't know, and I think that's kind of the joy of creating music. In the meantime, I just kind of want to create art that I enjoy, and I hope that other people enjoy it as well. And whether that's to an audience of 70,000 or 70 million, that's just, I think that's kind of part of the journey, part of the excitement. That's so it's kind of a weird answer, but yeah,
No,
that's what I was.
it's your thing as artists. You know, we're always, you know, evolving and changing. I mean, when I started making music, you know, I thought I wanted to be all over, you know, TV and stuff like that, and now I just want to create and have my group of people that appreciate it, and I just want to create dope shit to give to the world and make underground cheesy 80s movies. You know what I mean? That's my
Hey,
ultimate goal. And I mean, that's living a great life to me.
absolutely. I would agree that that is living a great life, creating meaningful art that inspires people, that touches people, that helps people in their day to day life. That's if you can aid to helping minimize someone else's mental anguish, someone else's suffering, why not? I think that's kind of our one of our jobs as artists um, is to help people in that way.
Most definitely. Who is some of your favorite collaborations that of people that you have worked with?
A lot. I mean, working with Rico Nasty, that was super cool.
Oh,
Um,
I haven't
yeah,
seen that one. You work with Rico?
I did. Yeah, this was back in 2021.
Mm.
That was cool. That was super exciting. Obviously working with Adon Cruz. And when I was in Mexico during April, I was working and meeting with so many really cool artists in Mexico, particularly Mexico City, such as Blanco, Rito Rakai, Dan Garcia, Flaca. It's all these artists down there in Mexico, and that was just a super cool, super awesome experience, and I really loved doing that.
Yeah, most definitely. That's dope. I discovered Rico from it's actually one of my favorite tracks. I discovered Rico from when she was working with Doja on that
Oh
song T and Tamara.
yeah, Tia Tamara.
Yeah, I really like that song, and that's when I first was like started bumping Rico.
Yeah, or I also we worked with Bally Baby last year
Mhm.
too, and that was cool. Did a cool music video with her, cool song. That was, yeah, another artist that was really fun to work with. Honestly, all artists are that I've worked with, I've really liked. So
That's dope. If there was an artist that you could work with, like you could pick anybody, you know, in the industry, who do you want to work? Who would you work with?
Billy Corgan, lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. That
Mm.
would I would geek out over that. I would get yeah, I would get very or Tom York. I would get very starstruck if I was working with Tom York from Radiohead. Yeah, I guess someone like that, like someone that I just grew up listening to every day, just kind of like a rock legend like that. I would get super excited about the possibility of
Oh,
working
that's
with.
dope. I mean, showing what I'm doing is like all about manifestation. Like I look at this show like, man, you come back and look at it, and now you did it.
Right?
You know what I mean? I look at it like when I was growing up, you know, with my father and stuff like that, we listened to a lot of rap and we listen to a lot of oldies. But I've been trying to I've been making like a lot of using a synthesizer a lot lately, making like a lot of funk and electronical music. But you know what? Genre music keeps pulling me back to it. And I never listened to it much. I keep listening to like a lot of 60s, 70s garage punk bands.
Really? Like who are some of your favorite 60s, 70s garage punk
Um,
bands?
I don't know the name because I listened to them on the mix, but you know who I've been listening to a lot lately is a band called The Kinks.
The
You know what I
Kinks, yeah.
mean? The Kinks. I've been listening to them a lot lately, and I mean on repeat. And I love kind of the like punk rock like vocalization. It's not really like the best singing, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like them punk rock harmonies. And I just kind of visualize that for like hooks and music or like electronic or funk music. Like I just love it. I never would have thought, but it just kind of has been pulling me to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would yeah, I love music like that, and I kind of always find that with music, I go through phases of different artists that I like. Like right now, I'm having a really big dad rock phase. I'm just like listening to a lot of Led Zeppelin and The
Mm-hmm.
Who and some of those like same like 60s 70s rock and roll bands, and I don't know, it's interesting because I might have that phase for a few weeks, then I might be super into, I don't know, SoundCloud trap for a few weeks, then I might be
Mm-hmm.
really into heavy metal, and it's kind of just the cool thing about music, you can just go where it takes you.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I've been kind of like I've done hip hop for a while, and I was doing that, and then I'm like, man, I kind of want to get into this, and I've been doing it for a while. I've been working my way that way, and I kind of see it as a blend of like the '60s, '70s, and '80s because I'm real big into like the hippies, you know, the psychedelic. I mean, I'm from San Francisco, you know, so like the hippies, the psychedelic, but I love the electronic vibe of the '80s, you know. So I'm like,
Yeah,
man, can I mesh these all together? Maybe the harmonies from here and the bass and the 808s from here and all that, and blend all that together.
hell yeah, I'm right with you there. Where the two genres that I really found a calling to was the grunge movement of the '90s, all that super kind of dark rock and roll like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, all that stuff, and then also the uh late 2010s SoundCloud and emo rap movement. Just those two sounds I wanted to mesh together. And
So
because yeah,
so for me, it like all this, I'm like discovered all this as I became an adult because I didn't grow up with a lot of this. Of course, I knew like the Beatles. Of course, I knew like Nirvana. And I wanted to say this, but the big thing that I see is I started listening to like surf music and you know surf grunge music from like the 60s or 70s, whatever that era was, and I'm like, okay, this is where Nirvana came from. That sound, if you listen to like that old surf grunge music, like that Tarantino shit, that's kind of where Nirvana came from with that type of sound.
true, right? It's so interesting to go into the type of music that you like and what inspired that and what inspired that, what inspired that, and just find the history of it all and just see the correlations of it. It's fascinating.
No, most definitely. I appreciate chopping it up with you. Any last shout outs you want to give to the world?
Always be yourself and stay cool.
Yeah, dope, man. I appreciate talking to you, man. Thank you for coming on. Until next time we can get together, you take care of yourself, man, and keep knocking out them goals, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to interview me and have a great rest of your day.
You too, my brother. Next time.